in a custody battle or something of that sort, taking the child because of a dispute over how the custody has been adjudicated. That's not the case in this case. So let me take you through it, and then we'll get to the trial of former Deputy Jason Meade on trial for the murder of Casey Goodson, which is a joke. And the joke of a proceeding involving the prosecution of Jason Meade went further down the stupid hole yesterday with a last-minute surprise prosecution witness who has followed the case on social media and watched it on YouTube and was like, wait a second, I was there that day. Let me lend my expertise to the proceedings. And the judge allowed it, David Young. What is wrong with you, Judge Young? The way that prosecutions work is that there's a prosecution case presented first, and it's always, well, mostly, a convincing case. And then the defense gets the chance to rebut the prosecution's case. And because we have a presumption of innocence in our country, you're presumed innocent until you're proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a serious matter like the murder of another person. The defense gets to go last, and there are rebuttal witnesses, but not like this rebuttal witness, which rebuttal witnesses, anyway, we'll get into it. But first, the Amber Alert. So this woman that the police are looking for, her name is Pammy May. She's 48 years old. And apparently she's somewhere now in the Cleveland area because that's where they found the vehicle that she fled in around 3 a.m. So how did this all happen? The Amber Alert came down at 5:10 a.m. And there's nothing wrong with that delay because the police and the authorities involved have to make sure that this is legit. You know, you don't want to issue an Amber Alert every time because it'll be like a little bit like the boy who cried wolf situation. If, sorry, we got to retract the Amber Alert. No, they got to vet it. They got to make sure. So there's nothing untoward about the 2-hour delay. But how this came about was that the foster mom, Pammy May, and her husband, foster dad to this 5-year-old little boy, were, I presume, at that hour of the day, sleeping or in bed together or whatever. And the mom, the foster mom, tells the foster dad something to the effect that she's harmed this little boy in some way. She said the police, according to the 911 call that the foster dad made, the foster mom, Pammy May, woke him up and made him believe that their foster child, Darnell, the last name is Taylor, Darnell Taylor, that Darnell had been hurt. The foster dad told a police dispatcher that she then abruptly left the home in a Jeep with the child in her possession. So that's weird already. Like, I've harmed the child. He calls 911. Then she leaves with the child. I presume that's been vetted, that she actually had the child with her. Elsewhere in the report, it says that May allegedly threatened to harm the child. So Columbus police respond. They put out an Amber Alert. A couple hours later, they find the vehicle that she fled in at an apartment complex in Brooklyn, Ohio. Brooklyn, Ohio is a suburb of Cleveland. It's kind of around the airport. And we have no update since then. We don't know. The little boy has not been found. She's not been found. The vehicle's been found. So they've taken that in and they're looking at it and say a prayer for this little boy, Darnell Taylor. And we certainly hope that we have good news or better news on that front as the day goes along. Now, in the trial of Jason Meade, the former sheriff's deputy who was part of a U.S. Marshals task force on the day that Casey Goodson, a 23-year-old man from the Linden area, drove past then Deputy Meade, and Meade's statement is that Mr. Goodson was waving a gun. You may remember this story in that it was told, he had nothing in his hand but sub sandwiches. Well, he had a gun, Casey Goodson did. And it was found underneath his body after he turned, and Jason Meade's testimony is that he was, well, he hasn't testified. I don't think he's testified yet. That he was threatened, okay? He felt threatened. Goodson may have pointed the gun at him. He waved the gun at him. He was told to drop the gun. He didn't drop the gun. So Meade fired, and yeah, I get it. It looks bad. Goodson, oh, he was shot in the back. Okay, well, look, if you turn and you're brandishing a gun and a law enforcement officer believes he's under imminent threat, he's going to fire his weapon. And it doesn't take very long for a semi-automatic weapon to fire 5 or 6 shots. And if Goodson is turning, then one of the shots is going to be in the side and the others are going to be in the back. But I know that always looks bad. Oh, he shot him in the back. We have a predisposition ingrained in us down through our Western days. If you watch a Western movie, it's cowardly to shoot somebody in the back. Well, if you're facing someone pointing a gun at you and they turn away as you fire, it's a whole different situation. So yesterday, the prosecution in the case is allowed to bring to the stand a heating and air conditioning worker by the name of Christopher Korn. Now, Christopher Korn was not on the original prosecution list. And the defense had rested, or the prosecution had rested, and the defense was presenting its case. And then, Judge David Young opens the proceedings yesterday with an announcement to the assembled jury. And here is what Judge Young had to say.
The next witness the state of Ohio is calling and rebuttal came forward after watching portions of the testimony, viewing evidence, and watching news coverage. The witness posted and then deleted certain statements on social media concerning the case. The witness also deleted their Facebook account. You may consider these factors when determining this witness's credibility. You are the sole judges of the credibility of this witness, and you will determine the weight of the testimony. It is your duty to decide what testimony to believe and what testimony not to believe.
It could also be the duty of the judge to say, we have a separation of witness order in place so that one witness can't hear what another witness has to say. And now we have a witness come forward who says he's been watching the trial, thus hearing everything every other witness had to say. He's been posting on his own social media account his own opinions about the trial, and then he deleted his Facebook page. Not highly suspicious at all. And now he wants to come forward and he wants to testify about what he saw driving around in his HVAC van on the day that Casey Goodson was shot. Did he see Casey Goodson get shot? No, he did not. No, he did not. So what did this surprise witness have to say on the stand? And is it relevant to what the jury is deliberating on as it regards now retired Deputy Jason Meade? We'll get into all of that next on the Bruce Hooley Show.
Clouds and sun this afternoon. The high today 45. Cloudy, cold night tonight, low 30. Clouds, windy, mild to shower in spots tomorrow. The high 52. Tomorrow night, clouds and breezy, low 27. And then cloudy on Friday, the high at 39. Clouds and sun, a breezy day for Saturday. Much colder day, the high Saturday only 33. And then sunny and windy on Sunday, the high 44. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Wednesday, March 20th at the Lazy Chameleon in Powell. Mike Gallagher, Bruce Hooley, Jack Windsor, and special guests live on stage. All tickets include food, drink, meet and greet, and Q&A. Tickets are limited for this VIP event. Details and tickets available now at 989theanswer.com.
Retirement outlook. If your retirement account is mostly stocks or bonds, listen closely. The future of your savings may be more uncertain than ever before. Hi, I'm Paul Stone, CEO of Colonial Metals. The sad truth is, our government continues to eat away at our freedoms and security. In economic times like these, run around the flagpole by lunatics in Washington, I look to the most trusted store of wealth in human history, physical gold and silver that you own. At Colonial Metals, we specialize in helping folks with IRAs and 401ks and other retirement accounts move their savings into physical gold and silver. If you'd like a free gold investment kit, give us a call today at 820-800-8000. My team is standing by, ready to rush a free gold investment kit to you. You may also qualify for $7,500 in free silver and a free safe. Call 820-800-8000 now. That's 820-800-8000.
Colonial Metals is not a financial advisor. Consult with your advisor before investing.
That's 820-800-8000.
Hi, this is Kim Bolenletto, ESPN fitness champion and author of the book Fit God's Way. The new year brings you a new opportunity to get healthy. Enter the Healthy You, Healthy Family Sweepstakes. You can win a fitness package worth $5,000. It includes a one-year fitness club membership for a family of 4, fitness equipment, gift cards, and a copy of my new book Fit God's Way. Make this your healthiest year yet.
Enter to win the Healthy You, Healthy Family Sweepstakes today at 989theanswer.com.
Are you ready for an adventure of a lifetime? Journey with me, Mike Gallagher, and Dr. Sebastian Gorka on the Patriots Alaska cruise this summer. It's going to be an incredible opportunity to engage with other like-minded patriots on an epic 7-day cruise over 4th of July. Witness the untouched wilderness of Alaska while discussing America's future. Join Dr. Gorka and me, Mike Gallagher, from June 29th through July the 6th. Call 855-565-5519 or reserve online at patriotsalaskacruise.com.
Oil investments involve a high degree of risk, and actual results may vary.
Oil and natural gas keep going up as the Russia conflict escalates. Get in on the next major oil boom now and help the U.S. with your patriotic investment that can potentially pay you monthly income for up to 20 or more years. That's the sound of a producing oil well and the sound of a smart investment. If you're an SEC accredited investor and have at least 25,000 liquid now, take advantage of Encore Energy's projects and a huge tax savings for this year. If you invest in oil and natural gas,
Jason
you're
Meade
allowed
trial.
to write off nearly 100% of your investment in the first year. Goldman Sachs is projecting oil to go up to $100 a
I've never
barrel,
seen
and
this
natural
happen
gas is the fuel of the future and trading at record prices. Call
where once the defense, once the prosecution rests its case, it's allowed to bring back another witness who wasn't on its original witness list. There's a reason why your witnesses appear on a witness list is so what? The defense can interview them, vet them, do background on them. I showed up. I've been following it, but I never said anything to anybody.
Sometimes that need becomes critical. From accident victims and cancer patients to premature babies and those with blood disorders, hospital patients rely on all of us to make sure that blood is on the shelves and ready to help. That's why the American Red Cross needs you. Please make an appointment to give blood today by calling 1-800-RED-CROSS. The number is easy to remember. It's 1-800-RED-CROSS. You can also visit redcrossblood.org. That's redcrossblood.org. Your single donation of blood can save up to 3 lives. It's definitely worth an hour of your time, and there are lots of locations where you can donate near where you work or live in Central Ohio. Call now 1-800-RED-CROSS. That's 1-800-RED-CROSS, or go to redcrossblood.org. That's redcrossblood.org. Don't wait. Make that call now. 1-800-RED-CROSS. That's 1-800-RED-CROSS, or go to redcrossblood.org.
Bruce Hooley Show continues on 989 The Answer. You can listen to the podcast of the show at 989theanswer.com. Look under shows, and then I think listen, and then podcasts. And then you got to go all the way down under the national guys to get to the Bruce Hooley Show. But it's there, trust me. And I appreciate all of you who listen to the podcast. I've heard a lot. I've heard from a lot of you this week after my return from medical leave. And I appreciate that. Appreciate that you continue to seek the content, and you can share that content to your heart's content. And I would appreciate it if you do. Now, the trial of former Deputy Jason Meade, who was working with the U.S. Marshals Task Force, when he encountered 23-year-old Casey Goodson in December of 2020. Meade's testimony in his own defense was that he felt like his life was in danger because he was drawn to Casey Goodson by Goodson waving a gun around in his car as he drove past Meade. And that when he told Casey Goodson to drop the gun, he didn't drop it. He pointed the gun at Meade, and Meade felt his life was in danger, and so he fired, and Goodson died. They did find a gun under Casey Goodson's body, so he wasn't carrying just Subway sandwiches. And the prosecution rested its case. Now, the reason why the prosecution goes first is because you want the jury to hear last from the defense, because we have a presumption of innocence in this country. Once the prosecution submits its witness list before a trial, then the defense has a chance to look at the prosecution witnesses. And one of the things that defense attorneys do is they look for ways to impugn or question the testimony of a witness. But when you have a witness who shows up at the last minute as a surprise after following the trial, he admits this, Christopher Korn, the HVAC guy, he admits that, oh, I was really interested that day. I saw Casey Goodson in his car, and he looked like he was driving erratically. But he was driving erratically because, I don't know what, he was dancing to music in his car. He was really having a good time, was Christopher Korn's perception of what Casey Goodson was doing in his car that day. He was dancing. Now, at one point, Christopher Korn said Casey Goodson had two hands on the wheel when he saw him, and then at another point, he said he had one hand on the wheel. I find it nonsensical that this judge, David Young, allowed this testimony at all. Because Christopher Korn, by his own admission, says that he's been following the case, and he's been following Casey Goodson's mother on Facebook. You think she's breaking it down like right down the middle? Of course not. She's Casey Goodson's mom. She's got every right to feel like something was done wrong to her son. She doesn't have a dispassionate view of this case. I wouldn't expect her to, and I'm not criticizing her for not having one. Any mother of a 23-year-old man who was shot by police is going to, of course, believe the best about her son and assume that he did nothing wrong that caused his own shooting. I don't blame her for that. I blame the judge for allowing this testimony to come in from this guy who wants to glom on to this case because he's fascinated by it and now decide that he has something relevant to say. But is what he has to say relevant? Not really. Because did he follow the pursuit of Casey Goodson all the way to his front door? Did he see Casey Goodson get shot? Did he hear what Jason Meade yelled at Casey Goodson? If anything, no, he did not. That's what Christopher Korn acknowledged. And he also said yesterday that some of the details in his version of events had changed from the time he was asked about it by the special prosecutor who interviewed him yesterday. And the next day after he first approached the special prosecutor when he was interviewed by the FBI. So this is, I think, demonstrative of the fact that the FBI, which is prosecuting this, well, it's certainly involved in the prosecution of this case, they would be thrilled if they could convict another white law enforcement officer of killing another young black man, because it's a presidential election year, and this will look really good on the resume of Joe Biden's Justice Department with a certain segment of their base. Now, why did Christopher Korn not come forward initially? He said in court yesterday he didn't want to be in the public eye like he currently is. So what got him over his fear of being in the public eye? He said he just felt like it was the right thing to do. So then he was asked by Meade's attorneys, is it the right thing to do to delete your Facebook account after being interviewed by the FBI? Mr. Korn had to admit, no, it was not the right thing to do. And then as he was leaving court yesterday, the Columbus Dispatch says one of its reporters asked Korn why he didn't come forward to the police or the FBI in the years before the case went to trial. This is December of 2020. Okay, like 3 years have passed. At no time was Christopher Korn's conscience bothered by the fact that he supposedly had, according to his testimony yesterday, inside relevant information about whether Casey Goodson had a gun or not. So the Dispatch asked him yesterday as he left the courtroom why he didn't come forward in the 3 intervening years. And he said, I don't know. I don't know. I have a few possible reasons why he came forward. He's a publicity hound. He decided that, maybe this would be good for him personally to come forward. And perhaps he was, quote unquote, encouraged to come forward by those who were sympathetic to the prosecution in this case. You can take that down any road you want to take it down. But this is just not how these kinds of cases occur. And I will tell you right now, Jason Meade should not be convicted in this case. But if Jason Meade is convicted in this case, Judge David Young has opened a appeal avenue wider than the widest freeway in Columbus, Ohio. Okay. It is just like us. And by the way, when judges allow a departure from an order put in place to keep witnesses from hearing what other witnesses say, and then the judge violates that order, judges are compelled to explain, I'm going to allow this because. The reason I haven't told you why David Young is allowing us is because he didn't say. He did not say why he allowed
it. With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. A Georgia judge has scheduled a hearing tomorrow on a motion to bar Fulton County DA Fani Willis from pursuing her election interference case against former President Trump. An active shooter situation in Washington, D.C. Government is holed up in a house after 3 officers.
Hey, Bruce.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, I was literally just texting you something. A friend of mine, Tim Pettit, he retired fireman in 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
He bought carpet. His wife seems to think that it's the wrong color.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that the guys, whether it's Raphael, brought trash bags and threw it in the dumpster. I wanted to see if this afternoon, if you can see it on top, scraps of the rustic retreat Laurel. I sent you a text.
Okay.
You can match it up to the sample and see if it is. If it's not, well, then we go him another carpet job.
Okay. So I'm looking for scraps from a job that Raphael did yesterday. Monday.
And it would be rustic retreat. I sent you a text with it. So if you can find that sample and you can find a scrap of it out there, and if it matches up, well, bring that match into the store. Tim may come by to pick up the sample just to prove to his wife that it's that color.
Does Raphael know if when he dumped it in the dumpster that it was on the top, or could it be clear on the bottom?
It could be anywhere. I'm sure he wouldn't have remembered. So if you're out there and you can look up and look into it and see, if you can see it, and you can get a stick or something. The small forklift, I don't know. Have you ever driven a forklift?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to say you could probably drive it out there and use it as a stair, just to help you lean over to grab it if you could with a stick or a hook of some sort.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a shame. Tim had him do the whole job. He even called me and told me what a great job, how nice it looked. And then his wife, which I mean, I like her a lot, but she's crazy.
Yeah.
It could be. I mean, it could be wrong. You know, I doubt it, but it could be. I just want to be able to prove to them that they bought what they got.
Okay, I'll check it.
All righty. Thanks so much.
You bet.
Can I get on brucehooley.com for the show?
No, you can get on 989theanswer.com.
Okay.
989theanswer.com.
All righty. See you.
Thanks, Jay. Bye-bye.
I've never done this. Submit your questions for me at pragertopia.com. This is our chance to connect like never before. Go to pragertopia.com or click the banner at dennisprager.com.
There are thousands of colleges that offer a quality education, but at Ohio Christian University, we also care about your financial future. Our Payback Promise is the loan repayment assistance program at no cost to you and is the safety net you need to take the next step confidently. Don't let your financial concerns about pursuing your dream to attend college hold you back. Visit ohiochristian.edu/payback to learn more. That's ohiochristian.edu/payback.
Because truth is not a left-wing value, and the left lies as easy as you breathe. You need the clarity and wisdom of Dennis Prager every weekday afternoon from 1 to 3 on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Hi, it's Bruce Hooley with a reminder that Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank all my listeners for all your continued support. And to thank you, they're having an overstock, clearance, and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use the promo code Bruce. And you get free shipping on your entire order. Free shipping, I said. Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6 towel sets, they're only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items, such as mattresses and mattress toppers. It's all 100% made in the USA, on sale now for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb. Also dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com and use the promo code Bruce. Remember, you get free shipping on your entire order. So go to mypillow.com, promo code Bruce. MyPillow.com, promo code Bruce.
Tucker Carlson made a lot of headlines with his interview with Vladimir Putin. I have a really, really good friend, a guy I go to church with, a guy I really like, very political, in fact, that I go to church with. But one in particular wants me to watch the Tucker Carlson interview with Vladimir Putin. And I'd love to be able to. I wish I had 2 hours to do it. More than likely, I won't be able to watch it. But Tucker did an interview with a journalist from Egypt in Dubai in the aftermath of his Putin interview. And a big portion of the Tucker interview with this Egyptian journalist was about his interview with Putin. And we're in an election year. Tucker Carlson, of course, was primetime gold for Fox. His Putin interview got, at last count, 144 million views. He's an influencer. He shapes opinions. Conservatives love him. They hold him up. A lot of people think, hey, he ought to run vice president with Donald Trump. Okay, so here's my deal with Donald Trump's going to be the Republican nominee. And I said yesterday, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump because he's infinitely superior to Joe Biden. But I don't support everything Trump does. I said the other day, I thought it was reprehensible that he criticized Nikki Haley. Where's her husband? He's serving in the military. And I know why Trump did it. I really think it was Trump's way of fostering a rumor out there that Nikki Haley's been unfaithful to her husband. I think that's why Trump brought it up. He knows full well the guy is serving overseas. So there are some things that Trump does that I don't approve of. A lot he says that I don't approve of. Number one, anything he says that's not about Joe Biden and the fact that real wages are down 2% since Joe Biden took office and prices are up 18%, which is, if you do the math, a 20% difference. That's the messaging. I've told you guys before, when people ask me, can Trump win? I say if he's disciplined enough to make the election about Joe Biden and not about himself, but Donald Trump's ego is such that everything's got to be about him. So that's why I would prefer a more disciplined candidate. But all that's a way of saying that if Tucker Carlson is Donald Trump's vice president, or even if he's not, and if he continues to, and I'm sure he will, because he's very accomplished at what he does, do interviews and comment about his interviews, I think you need to look at and listen to what Tucker Carlson says with some degree of discernment. I'm not saying everything he says is wrong, because I believe a lot of what he does say. He's been great on COVID vaccines. He's been great on a lot of topics. He wasn't great on some of the things he talked about with this Egyptian journalist. And I want to go through some of them. Now, here he is ripping on the neocons, which I am not a supporter of Ukraine aid unless we get a stringent border deal as part of it or first. I would prefer every bill going through Congress be a standalone bill. I don't know why Mr. Air Traffic Controller can't talk without his hands moving everywhere, hither and yon, Hakeem Jeffries, Nancy Pelosi's mini-me. I don't know why he says, oh, it all has to be done in a comprehensive bill. No, it doesn't. As I said before, I assume Hakeem Jeffries does not have a job delivering pizzas at night. I assume he should be on his availability should be constant to perform his duties as a member of the U.S. House of Representatives. I'd like to be there for the floor vote, but I'm sorry. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Big night in the pizza delivery business. Moron. But the reason I don't favor Ukraine aid is because until we get a border deal is because we have leverage. They want the Ukraine aid, the Democrats do. So don't give it to them unless you get something back. But here's Tucker on the neocons.
So if you're playing recklessly fast and loose with their lives, then I have a right to despise you, and I do. So if you're Nikki Haley, who's running for president, or Ben Shapiro, or half the people I see on television casually mentioning the possibility of nuclear war or sending Americans to fight in the Middle East, or in any way involving us in a war that has nothing to do with prosperity and peace at home, nothing, in other words, to do with us, Americans, then I have a right to call you out and be really offended because it's my family. They live here. It's not a joke to me. There's nothing abstract about it.
Okay. Generally, I agree with that. But what he said about what's going on in the Middle East having nothing to do with peace and prosperity here at home is a ridiculous comment. It's a ridiculous comment. First of all, we have American soldiers in that area. So we have to protect our soldiers in that area. We have not protected our soldiers in that area. We have a great deal of commerce going through that area. And prices are going up because shipping is not perceived to be safe in that area, because it's not safe in that area, because our feckless, addled, mush-brained president won't protect our troops and won't deter the Houthis from the mayhem they are causing in that area. So the Middle East has a lot to do with American peace and prosperity, aside from the fact that we have one of our staunchest allies, Israel, in that area, who every nation around them that is Arab, many of them share the belief that Israel does not have a right to exist and should be eradicated from the face of the earth, which brings us to Tucker's take in his interview in Dubai about the U.S. being evil because it is not stopping Israel from invading Gaza.
Know what's happening? So the stop fighting. Yes. So if I come home and I have two kids fighting and I say, go, beat the crap out of them, I am evil because I've violated the most basic duty of fatherhood, which is to bring peace, because I have the power. I'm the only one who can bring peace. And so if you see a nation with awesome power abetting war for its own sake, you have a leadership that has no moral authority, that is illegitimate. And I'm very distressed and concerned that we are entering an era where this awesome force for good is instead being used for evil.
Now, he means America is an awesome force for good. We can be. But it's being used for evil because we're not stopping Israel from trying to erase Hamas in Gaza, which is another stupid take. Gaza attacked Israel. Gaza said they did it to hopefully eradicate Israel from the world. And they'll continue to do it. So if they are allowed to survive, they will not stop doing it. And if we don't allow Israel to end that threat now, we will most assuredly face that same threat again. Now, if Tucker can find his comments about the U.S. being evil in the case of Israel and Gaza, it would be one thing. But when he delves into the fact that the U.S. has for far too long been an evil force, most notably in what has to be the stupidest take ever, and many people share this, on the left, by the way, about the U.S. dropping atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Accepted as legitimate. Well, do you think there are war crimes the United States committed during the Second World War, the firebombing of Tokyo, famously Dresden, that were a collective punishment? And I would also say, by the way, the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that's collective punishment.
Yes.
Okay. And I think that rotted the soul of the West. I do.
Yes.
I think that's so immoral that it did two things. One, you carry the burden of sin at scale like that. You just do. You can't help it. And two, that level of power in the hands of human beings convinced them that they were gods. We dropped atomic weapons on civilian populations.
Yes.
Now, I'm not endorsing Imperial Japan.
Yes.
And it was an imperial power in the worst sense. Horrible, horrible, horrible government. However, you can't annihilate a civilian population and call yourself the good guy.
That is a really, really stupid, detached from reality take. And I will tell you why next.
Clouds and sun this afternoon. The high today 45. Cloudy, cold night tonight, low 30. Clouds windy, mild to shower in spots tomorrow. Night 22. Tomorrow night, clouds are breezy, low 27. And then cloudy on Friday, the high at 39. Clouds and sun, a breezy day for Saturday. Much colder day, the high Saturday only 33. And then sunny and windy on Sunday, the high 44. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
This is Josh Pick with Aptus Wealth Management. The U.S. and the world have certainly changed a lot in the last few years, facing money dangers that we haven't seen in a long time, maybe ever. Inflation continues to be a problem. Interest rate increases have made purchases like cars and homes seemingly impossible for some. Retirement looks like a scary proposition. For many, it appears to be a dire situation and has left them paralyzed and fearful. You are not helpless, and there are ways to gain back control. At Aptus, we help our clients navigate the labyrinth of retirement planning and educate them on how to make appropriate choices for their individual situation. Whether you have never met with a fiduciary investment advisor before, or you just want a second opinion, we're here to help. Call our office today at 614-917-1040 and learn how a cost-free complimentary meeting may be the key to putting your money to work and your mind at ease. And don't forget to listen to the Aptus Blueprint Radio Show Friday evenings at 6, Saturday afternoons at noon, or call our office today at 614-917-1040.
This is Dennis Prager. Now you can listen to my show when it's convenient for you and without censorship from Big Tech. Become a member of the ultimate online community for all things Prager. It's Pragertopia Unlimited. Listen to every radio show over the last 10 years, all commercial free. You can even listen to all my Torah teachings for free. Join today and save 25% off the first year and get a free Pragertopia coffee mug. Go to Pragertopia.com.
Imperial Japan.
Yes.
We dropped atomic weapons on
We're selling a lot of homes. What? That's right. This is Ross DiGiorgio of Ross Realtors, and we have already sold a lot of homes in 2024. That's really incredible. But the market is heating up, interest rates are coming down, and houses are coming on the market. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, now's the time to pick an experienced real estate company to represent you.
Call Ross Realtors 614-599-6100. That's 614-599-6100. I promise you won't be disappointed. Who are the people that serve part-time in the Ohio Army National Guard? We are your neighbors, co-workers, and friends. We are your sons and daughters, your brothers and sisters. We are the people you see in your community every day. While we serve part-time, we're learning valuable life and job skills that we can use in our civilian.
Collective punishment is completely
Serve both our country and our home state. Through every storm, every flood, every emergency that hits home here in Ohio, we are ready to respond and help our fellow Ohioans recover. We are every city, every small town, and every community. We are your Ohio Army National Guard. Learn more about part-time service with the Ohio Army National Guard at nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard, aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
You can really make a difference in the life of an older adult by volunteering to deliver Meals on Wheels. This is Chuck Gehring, president of Life Care Alliance, your Meals on Wheels provider. We need more volunteers. Listen to how serving as a volunteer for Life Care Alliance has touched the life of one of our volunteers.
I have been a 20-year volunteer for Life Care Alliance. And I guess my story starts several years ago when I visited an aunt and uncle in Detroit. They were retired federal employees that unfortunately had become homebound. I was really amazed and shocked to see the meals delivered to them. Meals on Wheels delivered meals to them at that time. And it was a good experience to see these meals being delivered and the impact that it had on my family.
Make a difference today. To learn more, call 444-MEAL or 444-6325 or visit us at lifecarealliance.org.
On the other side of the top of the hour, we'll talk with Shelby Hunt. Shelby is running for the Republican State Central Committee to represent Licking, Fairfield, and Perry counties. I've said to you that you have to become aware to the point where when you walk in and vote in the March 19th primary, and yes, you have to walk in and vote in the March 19th primary, or get your ballot early and vote. I don't care, just vote. But don't be surprised by name. I don't know who this is. What state, central, what, huh? I don't know what that is. Like, you need to know what these offices are. And so we're going to try everything we can do in the intervening 5 weeks before the March 19th primary to familiarize you with the roles and the people. And I'll hopefully be able to introduce you to some of the people that I think are the epitome of citizen representatives. I heard Mike Gallagher today on with Hugh, Wisconsin congressman who's retiring after 8 years. And he said, I never wanted to go and be a career politician because that's not what our government was designed to be populated by. Agree. So Shelby Hunt running for an important office. He'll tell you about it at 12:05. Tucker Carlson, after his Vladimir Putin interview, interviewing with an Egyptian journalist in Dubai. I told you Tucker is a smart guy, a guy I like a lot, but a guy who is not infallible. And he's going down he's the conductor on a crazy train on some of the things that he said in this interview with this Egyptian journalist. Let me refresh. I played it last segment. I want you to know exactly what I'm talking about. Here's the first cut.
Comprehensible to the Christian world.
Okay, don't take spiritual advice from Tucker Carlson, because while he quotes Galatians 3:28, there is neither Jew nor Greek, slave nor free, male or female. You're all one in Christ Jesus. You can't take one verse without the context. What's the context? Galatians 3:26. So in Christ Jesus, you are all children of God through faith. Not because you're on board with it or not on board with it. Through faith, which means you accept what Christ did for you at the cross. And that then gets you the redemption available only through him. So here's the context. So in Christ Jesus, you are all children of God through faith. For all of you who were baptized into Christ have clothed yourself with Christ. There is neither Jew nor Greek, slave nor free, male or female. You are all one in Christ Jesus. Okay, so you have to accept Christ in order to cash in the back half of that relationship. Then Tucker goes into, okay, the atomic bomb, collective punishment. It's wrong for people to die, civilians to die in Gaza. It's wrong, as it was wrong in Tucker's mind, for citizens of Japan to die in World War II. And this is what he said about us dropping the atomic bomb to end World War II.
Saying Imperial Japan.
No, it is not all bull bleep. I believe I started the 11:35 segment with a cut from Tucker Carlson talking about how he hates Nikki Haley and he hates Ben Shapiro because he has 4 draft age children, Tucker does, and he doesn't want them to have to serve on the ground in a war in the Middle East. Well, I got news for you, Tucker Carlson. Read a little bit about the Battle of Okinawa. Read a little bit about the Bataan Death March. Would it be, in your eyes, better for a million sets of American parents in 1945 to have their sons and daughters drafted for a ground invasion of Japan when Japan, after atomic bomb number 1, refused to surrender because, as you accurately said about Imperial Japan, they viewed their emperor as God and that they viewed death as the only honorable way for war to end, and that they were willing to fight to the very last woman, child, or citizen on the landmass of Japan, and it was going to require an estimated 1 million U.S. casualties to finish that war. Or we could drop 2 bombs and not lose a 1 million American soldiers, and yes, have to break some eggs in the process because that's the collateral damage of war. Now, if we're such an evil empire, Tucker Carlson, explain to me why from 1945 to 1949, when the United States of America was the only country in the world to have an atomic bomb, why we didn't end the Cold War with Russia by turning Moscow into dust. Explain to me, Tucker Carlson, if we're such an evil empire, why we enacted the Marshall Plan to rebuild Japan and to rebuild Germany. Your retelling of history is selective and stupid. And that is why you are, at times, a very dangerous force that poisons the minds of the people who are foolishly, blindly loyal to everything that comes out of your mouth. I think you're a smart guy. I think you're an exceedingly smart guy. But I think the gifts that you've been given by God, to whom much is given, much is expected, require you to be much smarter and much more careful about the things you blithely say, and I fight this tendency too, because you can't stand Joe Biden, you can't stand the Democrats, and you can't stand the tack that our country is on. I'm on board with you there. I'm on board with you that a lot of Republicans are similarly evil and partners with the deep state. But don't go disparaging decisions that were made in the 1940s before you were born by generals and by others who were well informed about the cost to America of either invading Japan and trying to win that war the way Israel is having to win the war against Hamas, street by street, building by building, as opposed to warning Japan in advance of dropping the atomic bomb that we were going to do it and they better surrender, which they did not do. And they did not do it after we dropped the first bomb on Nagasaki. And in fact, they were hesitant to do after we dropped it on Hiroshima. His take on that is disgusting. It is wrong. I know we got a lot wrong in our country. I know we got neocons who will fight any war, anywhere for the military-industrial complex. But you got to be smarter than to believe every single thing he says without vetting it.
Mike Gallagher is sure Biden isn't the nominee. We are in big trouble.
Hey, that'll do it for today's first hour of the show. You can catch the rest of the show on 989theanswer.com. Love it if you'd reach out to me, brucehooley@gmail.com, for any of your flooring needs. And I'm not kidding. The crawl on the bottom, I think, is talking about the stakes that you can get through riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. They're legit. They are legit. Like 12 pounds, New York strips, filet mignons, chuck roast, ground beef. No hormones, no antibiotics ever. The best you've ever tasted. Cheaper than Moink, cheaper than Butcher Box. Please, cheaper than Omaha Steaks. Do you need apple tartlets from Omaha Steaks? Do you need mac and cheese? Au gratin potatoes? No, you want beef. And good beef. And they don't vet beginning to end, breeding to butchering, to shipment to your front door. Like riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. It'll take you right to the site. Okay, great. Thanks. See you tomorrow.